Alright, so to just try and give you a little bit of information on rigging, or drawing an illustration for rigging. Sorry, I'm sick. If you want the mouth forms to be able to be animated, we need to draw, multiple different pieces. So, for example, we have, let me grab just the whole mouth group and move it from the model for a second. Blorp. So here on this model, I have the upper lip, I have a lower lip, and then there's also inner mouth parts. Let me actually tell it to open. There we go. So we have like the inner mouth, the lower lip, upper lip, and then there's also a tongue, which is attached inside the mouth using a clipping layer. So let me get rid of the clipping layer. So just kind of like a tongue that kind of extends outside of the mouth. Usually I'll draw this mouth kind of like an oval. This is just kind of the way it's been deformed for all of the mouth forms. Because if you watch closely, see this mouth? The inner mouth moves with the edge of the lips. So that it stays within there, because technically it can, come out the side. So I kind of use the lips a little bit to cover the mouth, the inner mouth, and I make the inner mouth stay within the line of the lips. And then we have, the tongue, and then we also have teeth. So let me grab the teeth really quick. Let me remove them from their clipping layer. And so I also have the upper teeth. Oops, and the lower teeth. So for the mouth, you're going to want an upper lip, a lower lip, an inner mouth, a tongue, and the teeth. I'm going to go ahead and close this one really quick, and let me show you another example. This is the same character. This is just like his actual like VTuber model rather than an animated illustration of him. But for example, see how we have all of these various different like mouth shapes that he can do? The easiest way to make artwork that I can rig to turn, into this shape, that shape, all of these shapes, is actually to draw it as straight as possible. So just kind of make this a straight line. This one kind of has a gentle curve, which is fine. It's subtle enough, because that way, when I need to actually change the forms of it, I can deform it and make it into any shape I want, whereas trying to take something that is curved and then straightening that out, like up here, like it's kind of difficult to do. But again, you're going to do the upper lip parts, so that for this model, it's broken up into a lot of other pieces. So I have like the upper skin, I have the shading, there's a highlight, and then there's the lip line. For the illustration, you can just merge all these if you... That should be fine. So you'll just need like an upper lip, and then we'll need a lower lip. Show me the lower lip. So, same thing, lower lip. And then we have the inner mouth, which I'll kind of show you that as well. Hide that lip. So let me hide the lips really quick. And this is the inner mouth. So when I drew it, I kind of... Sorry, my bird's going insane. I kind of drew it... I usually draw it in kind of a circle or an oval shape, and then from there, I can deform it to match all of the, the lip forms, and then the lips just kind of cover the edges of it. And again, teeth, separate objects, tongue, separate object, inner mouth is just a blob that's an oval. Same thing with the hair. If you want that, goodness, golly, my bird's got the zoomies. If you want there to be hair physics, for example, let me get the hair pieces. See, obviously the hair is a separate piece, but it's also broken up into multiple different pieces. So I have like this piece here, this piece, this piece. So just kind of like drawn in big tufts. And then I kind of have like just one for the back, and the same for the other sides. And I use that so that I can do the physics for the hair. separately in different little groups. So we have like, you know, we can do our good old little wiggly physics. And I can go pretty crazy. I can do like a lot of parameters just for the hair physics. And that will let us get kind of like the floaty movement that can be done via physics, or I can keyframe the animation. When in doubt, draw it as a separate piece. And if you want to do like shading for the hair, I can do that. You don't need to worry about that. There's a way I can do it in here in the software. Literally all I do is I just copy, you know, the hair piece, and then I'll move it, you know, underneath there. Oops, this one. Yeah, so like this. And then I'll set that to multiply, but I'll also I'll use a mask to change the color of this. It's kind of a whole thing. You don't need to worry about that. I think that's it for now. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. I love info dumping. You'll have to beg me to shut up. Hopefully this helps. Because I think it would be cool to get, you know, that animation going. I have a version of this one where he's just fully animated. All of his functions currently right now are just controlled via physics and the breath parameter. So if I were to like, you know, tell it to turn off the physics, then the movement would stop. But he also has track params that I can manually keyframe for animations. So this would be the process I would do for with the model that you're drawing. Yep. All right. Bye.